radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Wednesday, April 5th. Good morning, Weirdo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. I promise to have another good one on this hump day. I got special guests in the podcast broadcast later on, Miss Luna Aura. I'm going to be catching up with that fantastic artist who's recently announced to be on the Aftershock Festival, amongst many other things. And we have, of course, tickets to give away. We announced on Monday that Incubus is coming to the TCC. That's right. In our very own backyard. And I know you want those tickets. I want those tickets. Oh,
I want to see Bad Flower.
Yeah, Bad Flower, Paris Jackson. I want to drool all over Paris Jackson in a very respectful way. But yes, I'm excited about this show.
How would you drool on somebody respectfully?
I would ask for permission first.
Okay, good,
And
good start.
Then I would subscribe to her OnlyFans. And not just the free trial. I would actually subscribe.
Okay.
Maybe even tip.
Wow, what a gentleman.
Respectful, right? So, I mean, full disclosure, I have kind of had like a mild crush on Paris Jackson for a few years now. I do think that she's a very beautiful woman.
She is.
And she's also like so troubled. And for whatever reason, I'm like, oh, that's a bag full of issues right there. Oh, it's so hot. So hot. You know, all these like skanky tattoos. I'm like, oh, you're so trailer. Yes, that's right. That's my type. I mean, it really is. So yeah, she's going to be performing at TCC, and I'm sure she's a phenomenal talent. We're going to be giving away those tickets at 8:00 this morning. And last night we had that screening for the movie Air. And you enjoyed Air?
Oh my gosh, it was really good.
That's good.
Yeah, it was funny. The script was it just was so good. Like I'm speechless. The jokes were solidly funny. Like they I think they went more for the comedy angle because it is a historic story, but there's not a lot to it. It's a bunch of white guys sitting in office trying to figure out how to, sign Michael Jordan to Nike, which Nike was failing at the time.
Oh yeah, no, I recall that part of the folklore for sure, just from the Last Dance and several other documentaries over the past, over the few years. Of just talking about, Nike being just basically a mom and pop shop or about to be on its way out. And the big shoe brands were, of course, Converse for NBA and Adidas.
Yes.
And this is 1984. And before anyone heard about what a Nike Air is. So, yeah, that's good. I'm glad that they made it funny. And I'm asking because, if you guys won those passes, you might have saw me introduce the movie. But I got the hell out of there as soon as I saw that S was hitting the fan.
Yeah.
It kind of overpacked it. Yep. And there were some people left disappointed not being able to have a seat.
Correct. About 6 people. They were like, well, let's bring in chairs from the cafe. And then somebody said fire code. And then they had to leave. I
know. And I knew that, when I heard that, like, oh, we're going to bring some extra chairs. I thought in my head, immediately, no, you're not. That's not how they do things. And I just know that the city and the rules are a little too strict to allow you just to do pop-ups in a movie, middle of a movie theater. That's anywhere where there's emergency exits and they have to tell you where they are, then you can't just bring outside furniture to block up said like pathways. If I sound a little tired and you're like thinking, hey, you got out early, you got some extra sleep. No, I'm an idiot. I went home. I was like, cool. I don't have to stay for this movie. I want to see it. I definitely want to see it, but I'll see it when I see it. So I'd rather get some sleep and do this show. I got a long day ahead of me. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. So I was like, I'll go home and I'll get to bed before 8. It's going to be fantastic. I'll get almost 8 hours sleep. I'm going to be fresh. And then I'm like, oh, I'm home so early. I might as well play this video game for like 5 minutes. And then fast forward, it's like 10:30. I'm like, son of a bitch.
What are you playing?
Oh, it's this stupid WWE game, man. They got this new GM. I know because WrestleMania and they got this GM mode. And next thing you know, I'm like building up, whatever. I'm a nerd. And I am cranky and tired because I could have could have and should have got a full 8 hours sleep and it would have been fantastic. Instead, I'm sleep deprived because I was on the road to WrestleMania like a nerd.
Yeah, but you had fun.
No, I didn't. It wasn't even that fun. It's
really
no. You know what? It's so weird about some games, and I know a lot of gamers out there know this. You get sucked into a certain mode, and then you blink your eyes. Next, 2 hours goes by. And unfortunately, for me in this game and this GM mode, which I'm barely even playing, by the way, like I'm not doing actual matches. I'm fantasy booking.
Okay. You're building up your roster. You're
starting rivalries. I mean, it's the stupidest thing ever, right? And I'm just sitting there in imagination land inside my head going, well, Sami Zayn should do a turn here. like for whatever reason, somehow, some way, it's such a time suck that it's like I go into a time warp and the next thing you know, like hours have gone by.
Right.
I seriously sat down and was like, I'll play this for 30 minutes, good 30 minutes, and then get ready for bed. Good to go. And that 30 minutes turned into 2.5 hours before in a blink of an eye.
Right. And you're like, did I really accomplish anything?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Right.
It just ruins my life.
Well, my boyfriend's playing that God of War Ragnarok. And I was like, well, how many hours of gameplay total? And then he starts going down the nerd path of like, well, if I do this and I do all the exploring, it's like 50 something hours. And he's only 6 hours in. I'm like, holy God.
Well, at least there's a purpose. Like when you do that, and the same thing when I was playing like Red Dead, you want to go through the story, you want to explore the world. That's a whole purpose. With this, I'm just spinning around in a circle. I'm just, I'm wasting my time for the sake of wasting my time. And when I look back on my life, on my deathbed, I'm going to be so mad at myself for just spending like a third of my life fantasy booking WWE. It's not cool. It's not cool.
Some would say that's a good way to reflect on your life, but you were like, no.
No. I mean, did I actually win a championship? No. Did I make millions of dollars from being a successful promoter? No. Did I have sex with my girlfriend last night? Hell no. I was too busy trying to march my way to WrestleMania. So, all right. Well, but besides all that, we are going to have a fantastic show. And with that, we'll go right into it. So that was my show open. I just please welcome our very special guest, a great friend of mine from way back when. And I'm so proud of all the growth and the music that Miss Luna Aura has been putting out. This is Luna Aura. Good morning, Luna.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for joining us. I'm very excited about this because, I'll show you a couple things first and foremost. We're going to play because we can't play the audio on the stream, right? Because YouTube would like boot it and stuff. And you're copywritten all over the place, right? Because you've been putting together quality product, being featured on Spotify. I've been following you and, pleasantly surprised by you popping up everywhere I turn over the past 6 years and more so ever since you moved to LA. And I'm so proud of the transition that you're making and the growth that you're making as an artist. And now that people are connecting with it and you're starting to get all these like great opportunities, it's amazing. And I just wanted to say that first and foremost, but I'll show you as I was going to pull up these YouTube clips. I think what you could notice here on my YouTube page is that I've seen all these, right? So you see the little red bar underneath here?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah. I'm like, that's all right. I just watch me some Luna Aura all the time. It's no big deal. I'll show this. I got to mute this real quick. All right. So this was Honey. Honey was featured, and you probably heard Honey, Weirdo.
Yes.
On many Spotify lists, but
yeah, it came up on mine when I was like listening to Pretty Reckless and like Billie Eilish kind of mixes. And Luna Aura was put on there, and that's I think Bent was the first one I heard, but I really like Honey.
Thank you.
Now, what is that they're pouring on your head right here?
It's blood.
Okay. Look at the crazy eyes. All right. So did you come up with this concept to do this visualizer video for this?
Yeah, I do. So I creative direct and direct all of my visuals. So yes, this was my concept.
See, now Luna is the definition of an artist through and through, and has gone through many musical stylings. And so you went out to LA when? How many years ago was this? 7 years ago?
Actually, it'll be 9 years this year.
9 years.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a Los Angeles? Is that what they say?
I do. Yeah, this definitely feels like home to me. I mean, when I go back to Arizona, that's like my home. But when I'm there for more than like 3 days, I'm like, all right, it's time to go. But to be fair, it's always when I'm visiting my parents, and they live in Queen Creek. So
they live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I do love like Phoenix, Tempe. That area is growing so much. It's like I'm in shock with how much it's been growing, and I would just love to see it.
Yeah, I'm still kind of being mesmerized by these really twisted visuals here.
Yeah, this is great.
Here.
I know. My poor mom is like, "Why do you do this stuff?" I'm like, "It's art. It's art.
It's art. You don't understand, Mom.
You don't
I'm
get
an artist."
Me, Mom. Yeah.
You ever read through the comments that you get on these videos?
Yes, I do. I don't typically read through comments just because I don't really make art to see like how people feel about it. I just do it because it's like how I express myself. But sometimes I'll go through the comments, and they're usually very nice. I mean, every once in a while you'll get someone that's very bored and sad.
Yes.
But other than that, I mean, it seems like everyone is reacting really well to everything. So
what's one comment that you've came across that stuck out with you that you recall, or did you just kind of block it all out?
I mean, most of the comments, like I said, are really positive. So I feel really lucky to have people be so excited about what I'm doing. Yeah, the negative ones, they're usually just like white dudes that probably can't get laid. So I don't have enough space in my brain to kind of keep those around. They just kind of get ejected immediately. So
yeah, I've come across the same thing because I share my family story and stuff like that. But one that stuck out to me was I got called a little dirty dumpster woman, and I actually had to give the dude a slow clap. I was like, fantastic.
You definitely should make that a t-shirt.
Oh, my boyfriend already turned around. He's like, yeah, you dirty, dirty girl. I'm like,
yes.
So we
are
already
a dirty
turned it around.
Woman.
Yeah, we'd say that.
I'm also a dirty dumpster woman.
Hell
what
yeah.
Yeah. So now what I notice, one of the things that Luna does so well is she networks and she works with tons of great producers and stuff. And I noticed that, who are you working with now as far as the different producers and how you meeting these people?
I am releasing a new song this month actually with the producer that I worked with for my first EP that did Honey as well. His name is JT Daly. He's really amazing. He does all of Paris's stuff, K-Flay. He just did a couple of tracks on the Demi Lovato record, I believe.
Nice.
And
so he's done Paris Jackson stuff, and you heard me
no.
thirst over
the band Paris.
Oh yeah, okay.
There we go.
Paris with a V.
Yeah,
Obviously.
Yeah, Paris with a V, exactly. Yeah, he does all of their stuff. But yeah, I've been working with him. I've been working with a guy named Simon Oscroft, who's really amazing. A guy named Lachlan West. I work with a lot of like out of the country producers because they like really understand my sound. I don't have like an American rock kind of sound. It's a little bit more European. So I tend to work with a lot of like European or Australian producers.
Oh, nice. So I need to know the difference between American rock and Australian or European rock. And we're with Luna Aura on Rock 102.1 KFMA on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. Our single song takeover today is going to be the new single Bent by Luna Aura, and I can't wait to share this with you because the song rocks. And we're catching up, going down a memory lane. So you can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here because we'll be back with more right after Linkin Park's Lost on Rock 102.1. Clear. All right. So that was our on-air part too. So you never know. You never know. We'll just
look at us.
Yeah.
Never know when we have to dump Weirdo for saying fuck.
Yes. All right. We're good. We're good. I got my dump button. All right.
Reaching for the red button.
What is your definition of European Australian rock as opposed to American rock?
So it's like Blur would be European. Let's see, like the Hives, Dandy Warhols, that kind of like quintessential 90s rock sound.
Right.
And American rock is just like, I mean, Papa Roach and like just anything
active.
More active. Anything that like comes out of the States pretty much that's more active.
I'll tell you what, though, I feel like there's a new, and this is why I'm glad that you're all about dirty guitars that crunch and that sound, because I think you're writing the right wave as far as trends are concerned. You know, there's a blowback from synth and 808s that we're facing now post-pandemic, and that's why I'm trying to coin it. I'm trying to coin the new phrase as post-pandemic rock. But it's more, it's that quiet, loud, quiet sound. It's in your face. It's distorted guitars. It's crunch. It's angst, it's all that. Well, basically what we felt the last few years. So it's kind of like a throwback and a return to form of the 90s with a new kind of like, hey, we're all gonna die soon kind of vibe, right?
Right. But keeping it also catchy, which is cool. Which is how I really feel with Ben's.
Yes,
it is crunchy and heavy and distorted, but like super catchy. Like you want to bounce to it. So I really like it.
I Fiona Apple was kind of who I referenced for like the melodic and lyrical content. But yeah, it's very crunchy, very bit crushed, which I love. It's my favorite. It goes really well live too.
Well, yeah. Now, when you perform live, because you just announced that you're going to be on the Aftershock Festival, so congratulations on that. There's another festival that you were just announced on that's the Louder Than Life. So these are two massive festivals that are both like headlined by Foo Fighters and you know the usual suspects that are headlining all these massive festivals all over the country. And you're kind of smack dab in the middle of some of these lineups too. So it looks like you got a pretty good spot as well.
Yeah, lots of exposure to new listeners.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I mean, I'm super thankful for the opportunity. I'm really excited to see Tool. I've never seen Tool live before. I hear they're incredible. Weezer, Turnstile is also amazing. They're one of my favorite bands right now. But yeah, I don't know. I can't wait. I'm like been hitting the gym and like I'm trying to get really ready for it. So I just blow people away.
Yeah.
So are you going to attend Aftershock all 4 days to also enjoy as much of it as you can as a fan?
Oh.
Well, I actually might have a tour which hasn't been announced yet that'll go into that. So I might miss the first day, but I'll be there for Saturday and Sunday for sure.
That's Luna Ora. She's talking about being on Aftershock this year, which was a huge development with her band, and then teasing a potential tour. Is there any chance that you're coming through Arizona or Tucson by chance? I mean, probably Phoenix, right?
Yes.
Yes,
I can't officially announce, but it will be announced shortly. I'm going to be on a tour that I'm really excited about, and it will be stopping in Phoenix this fall.
Okay, so stopping in Phoenix this fall, and it's something that, so here's the deal. Let me decipher this or translate it. She is on a direct support of a band that you probably know and heard of, and it's one of those bigger type of deals that she can't officially announce or say anything or she'll get in trouble. I respect that. I will speculate all day long. I have to go through my Googles and see who hasn't announced a fall tour yet, and narrow it down, but I will before the end of the podcast.
It's definitely someone everyone knows, so that's good. And if you don't know, you're a loser.
Now, Luna, of course, you're an independent artist from Arizona. Are you still operating independently or are you signed?
No, I'm independent. Yeah.
This is fantastic. This is even better. And this is why I kind of want to introduce old friends to new friends type of deal, because you know we always know so many musicians together that have that dream, inspire, like how do you do it and break to that next level and stuff. And you know your story is a story of dedication, hard work, hustle, and of course artistic drive. And you know it took a while since you moved out to LA to start breaking, but now I feel like you got momentum all on your side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, persistence is key, I think, with anything. But yeah, moving out to LA was like being a tiny fish in a massive ocean. But it took a while for me to kind of get my bearings and also find my sound, because I think what I was doing when I lived in Arizona was just kind of what I thought I was supposed to be doing, because I was this young girl. And at the time, you know, it was like Katy Perry and Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga were all like the gods of music at the time. So I thought like, okay, well, this is maybe what I'm supposed to be doing. And I learned very quickly that it wasn't who I was or what I wanted to be doing. But I also felt in a lot of ways that rock music wasn't something that belonged to me. It was just something I really loved. But I didn't think I was like allowed to make it because of who I am. And I just kind of threw all that out the window, and I just got like sick of pretending to be this thing that I wasn't. And I was like, you know what? I'm going into rock music. I don't care if everyone says rock is dead. Like, I'm going to revive it. And that's where it all started. So,
well, that's another thing. You fill in a void because we do need strong female vocals in the rock genre, and there are definitely some strong female vocalists out there, but definitely room for more. But knowing you from way back when, and I think hell, you were probably even you were like 18 or something when I first met you and started listening to your music. Yes, it was pop, but it was always pop with like kind of a rock attitude. You always had that edge to you, to where it wasn't a surprise, a shock, or anything that is a knee-jerk reacting that you started going down this path. It was just inevitable. And you hung out with rock stars all the time, and it was all part of that crew.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was part of what made it really difficult. Was I also had a really intense live show, and my music that I was writing at the time was kind of this like subdued, like kind of moany stuff.
Yes. A lot of moany stuff. Yes, absolutely. I do recall.
Yeah, it was, how like the moany pop stuff was back then. And it didn't feel right. Like I felt like I was definitely missing the energy from my music that my live show was kind of giving out. But now my live show and my music are perfect together. So
I love it. We're talking with Luna Aura on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/bevegan, as we continue the conversation. And when we return, my single song takeover today is the new single from Luna Aura. It's called Bent. You're going to love it. And it's coming up next. Clear. All right.
So you were talking about inspirations. You mentioned Fiona Apple. And like you said, you're wanting to come into this post-pandemic rock and be,
that's right. That's my phrase.
be kind of the leading female voice on that. Like, who else inspired you kind of during that time when you went from like, okay, Lady Gaga and kind of poppy to what you have now?
Gwen Stefani was like a huge influence. Garbage, Hole, 9 Inch Nails, Blur, Dandy Warhols, just a lot of stuff from the 90s, pretty much. Okay. Because it's like what I grew up like first listening to. It's what my parents played in the car, and so yeah, a lot of my influences. You'll definitely hear it too in my music. Fiona Apple is another one. I just love 90s music. I feel like that was the best genre or the best era of rock music, especially.
Well, right, it's back, so you're good.
And you said you're working with producers who worked with Blur and with the Dandy Warhols.
No, so I'm working with producers that were like, one was in, I believe, the Hives. Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in the Hives or the Vines. Either one.
They're both the same.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So he was actually the drummer in either the Hives or the Vines. I can never remember. I always have to ask him. But yeah, so he definitely understands the sound. And then Simon Oscroft is really amazing. I mean, he's just an incredible producer. He's written huge songs for massive artists. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like everything is starting to become really elevated, and the opportunities are becoming bigger. So it's been a long time coming.
Are you catching yourself having any of those moments of like, I can't believe I'm here. Holy crap, it's happening.
I wish I would do that more. I think I've just been in like go mode and like survival mode for so long that like when things happen, I'm like, hell yeah, of course that happened. Like, that should be happening. I've been working really hard for it. But yeah, no, I'll sometimes like when I'm playing big festivals and stuff, I'll like take a moment when I'm watching a headliner and be like, I can't believe I'm actually doing it. When I was 15, 16 years old, if I were to like tell my 15, 16-year-old self what I was doing, I mean, I would be losing it. So
right.
That's awesome.
So you have a traveling band with you? How long you been working with the musicians that are in your band?
Yeah, actually, my guitarist is Vince Gabuzzi, which I don't know if you remember Anthony Gabuzzi.
Of course I remember Anthony.
So it's his brother, and he's been playing with me for years.
Nice. Is he a classic Gabuzzi? Well, I guess this is a side conversation, not a fight. Is he like his brother?
He is. Yeah. I mean, they're very similar, but they're also very different. He's a little bit more chill. He's the San Diego version.
Yeah. All right.
He's the
So
San
that's
Diego
inside
version
stuff.
of Anthony.
That's good. You need a chill Boozy for sure. But love that guy. That's great. So you got Vince with you, and who else?
Vince, and then I mean, I usually just hire out different drummers just depending on like who's available, or it's the LA music scene is very like incestuous, so we all just kind of like use each other's players and all.
Yeah,
that.
we'll get to that too. So with that though, so your live show is drummer, guitarist, and then tracking, right?
And then tracks, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice.
Sometimes I'll have a bass player depending on the budget for the show and that kind of thing.
I like it though. So I mean, it's gonna be high energy. It's gonna be tight. So you're going through there, and so this incestuous LA scene that you're running in circles with. Who are some of the musicians that are on a national level as well that you kind of like interact with, or maybe have collaborated with?
Collaborate. I mean, I've written with I've written with a lot of people. Most of the main songwriters out here in LA I've written with. I mean, I know, people like Royal and the Serpent, Beauty School Dropout. There's like the whole like Machine Gun Kelly Mod Sun circle of people, like pop punk.
Okay.
Revived pop punk vibes.
No, they're on the tail end of that trend. Don't worry. There's a lot of people out here, artists out here that it feels like a tiny itty bitty little world, but right. But of course, it's a massive
Grandson.
city.
Grandson is another.
I love Grandson.
I've worked with. He's amazing. I mean, I absolutely respect him.
That's a dude. That's a dude that you keep an eye on, and he's brilliant on the level. So that's a good one to work with
for sure. Grandson saw him live with Bring Me the Horizon. He was in the crowd, like he was going way up. He brings a lot of energy.
Let's get on the air. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to B. Fegan Presents. Now, as you know, I wore down management about a month ago, and they came up with a compromise because I kept dropping songs that I didn't want to play on the radio. And they said, okay, here's the deal. You get one song that you could play, whatever song you want in the 9 o'clock hour. I call that my single song takeover. And today, this is a first for me on this station, but not the first time I played this artist. I'm very excited to share her with you guys today. It's a new single. And Luna, tell me about this single. This is just dropping basically like singles. You got an upcoming EP it's coming off of, or album?
So it actually was just a one-off single, but I will be releasing an EP this year. I actually have a new single coming out on the 27th, which is my first time announcing that right now.
Nice.
You guys got the exclusive.
That's what I'm all about, getting all the exclusives.
But yeah, Bent was just kind of a one-off song that I did with my friend Lucky West and the lead singer of Joywave, if you know.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So all the three of us all wrote the song together, and
look at it, she casually name drops. I love her casual name drops. Like, oh, sorry.
Good.
Oh, you know them? You're a fan of them? Okay.
No, Dan is awesome. He's hilarious.
Dan. Oh, you're on a first name basis now. Let's go back to lead singer of Joywave. I think it's
I just feel like that's how people will probably recognize him. Dan Armbruster is his name, but yeah, he's so funny. He's like one of my favorite people I've ever written with. But we wrote the song really quickly, like in like a couple hours, and it just came out so great. And I'm like, I definitely just want to drop this. So I dropped it in December, and yeah.
It's catchy as hell, and I'll allow you to introduce it on Rock 102.1 KFMA. So Luna, take it away.
What's up, guys? I'm Luna Ora, and this is my new song, Bent.
All right, I don't want to get kicked off of the stream yet, but I do want to listen to it live on the radio. So, Luna, stand by. Earlier this morning, we did a little segment called The Morning Moron. In case you missed it when something like this, we'll be back with Luna Ora right after this. 1 KFMA, Giovanni and the Hired Guns, who are performing at 191 Tool soon, actually. So that's right around the corner. Be ready for that. I believe it's Monday night. Besides that, though, should be a pretty rocking show. It's now 6:15 and time for your Morning Moron. Let's do this. All right. Carjackers are always going to be morning morons, right? And this is odd because you very rarely see the female carjacker. It's usually a male-dominated sport.
Yes.
Yeah, but in Los Angeles, anything goes. And a 27-year-old woman near LA reached into a lady's car last Friday to try to steal her purse, and she wouldn't let it go. So she took it to the next level. She's like, all right, well, then I'm going to yank you out, GTA style. and I'm going to jack that purse. Then I'm going to get in your car and steal your car, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that's what she said. All right. Now, with that, though, there was a problem. The car that the lady was sitting in, the victim here, had a club on the steering wheel. So the woman was parking, and then she's fastened her club to the steering wheel.
People still use those?
Apparently so.
Okay, then.
Well, in LA, when carjackings and car thefts are, at a high percentage, I guess it's a good investment. I mean, the fact that we all don't drive around with clubs is surprising.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. But yeah, so she had a club. She locked it in. She was good to go. So she's like, you're not going to get far. But that didn't stop this potential carjacker, because she got behind the wheel and she turned it over and she tried to take off. But if you ever use the club, it prevents you from turning the wheel in either direction. So you can only go about a quarter of a turn. So this woman tried to drive off the driveway and ended up just crashing into multiple vehicles. So it's very simple and very easy to catch her. Now, it happened at a grocery store parking lot, and someone got it all on video. And I'll share the video and the podcast broadcast a little bit later on. There's a lot of F-bombs, so I can't play you the audio. Now, she kept backing up and going forward, hitting more and more cars each time.
Was she trying to do Austin Powers?
Pretty much. Oh, no, I got it. Oh, no, wait. All right, I got it. Oh,
just a lot more F words.
Yes, a lot of F words. Now, at least 5 cars were damaged before she jumped out and tried to run. That's when 2 guys tackled her, brave guys, and held her down until cops got there. And someone also tied her shoelaces together just in case, because this is LA. That's what LA does.
This is a freaking cartoon.
I'm going to tie your shoelaces together. Oh, yeah? Is this so I don't run? No. I'm going to take your shoes off and then I'm going to throw them over the phone line right there. It's gonna... All right. We just debuted the song there on Tucson Radio. Won't be the last time I play Luna Aura's Bent. That's a guarantee. Welcome back. I notice as I'm rocking this out, because I need my audio caffeine. It's kind of the reason why I do this gig, right? So when I come across songs that I thoroughly enjoy, I crank it up. I blast my speakers. Weirdo can attest to it.
Mm-hmm.
With Bent, I find myself like kind of rocking my head back and forth like this. Not like this, like to left and right.
It's like a swing to it.
Yeah. Do you see me swinging? I was the whole time. I was like, oh, yeah. Bent. Oh. No. It's good. So, I find it's so fascinating that some of the catchiest songs in the history of pop culture have always been the ones that seem so effortless for the artist, So it doesn't surprise me that this song being so good, it only took you a couple hours to put together. It's like when you overthink things and you try to overstack it, that it fucks it all up,
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it definitely, it took a little bit from like the production standpoint to get it done. Lucky, but I mean, we got it done day of. It was pretty much finished and completed. But that's how Honey was too. Like Honey, I wrote the lyrics and the melody for that in like 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It took no time at all. It's always the effortless ones. Yeah.
Yeah, like when you're feeling inspired, when do you at what points do you find yourself catching is inspiration? Is there something do you notice when you're feeling inspired, or is there just certain things that you do that kind of helps you get inspired?
Yeah, just like waking up and writing every day, just journaling, just putting thoughts and ideas down on paper is really, really helpful for me. But for the most part, for my artist project, because I do a lot of writing for other artists as well. I do writing for TV and film, which we call sync writing. Yeah. And so that kind of stuff, I just walk in the room because it already sort of feels half soulless. So I don't need to put a whole lot of energy into it because it's just stuff for ads and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I'm writing for my project, I usually will I'll take 2 weeks and just be like, this is all I'm doing for 2 weeks. And then it puts a lot of pressure on me to make sure that I'm doing the work and writing all of these ideas down before I get into the studio to make sure that, I'm making the best music I can possibly make. So a lot of the stuff that I release is all stuff that I've written in a week or 2 throughout the entire year. And then the rest of the time I'm just writing for all these other things.
That's great though, because you're like your muscle is there. You're always exercising, and I know that any kind of employer is just like, oh, great, she thinks it's soulless. That's fantastic. Welcome to the team.
I mean, everyone kind of just knows the sync music is like, it's when you're writing for advertisements, they're not gonna take an explicit track that like actually is saying something really intense. They want something that's very surface level, that isn't going to be read into. So that type of music is just really easy to write, which can feel soulless sometimes.
Right. And you started doing this when you moved out to LA immediately, or how long did it take you to get into this like side hustle?
Well, actually, so my artist project started doing really well in sync. And I started getting in shows on like Showtime, the CW, Netflix. Like my stuff just started landing in promos for things on HBO, and so that kind of got me into that world, and then I started writing specifically for that.
So what is what is the one piece of work that maybe like most mainstream that we might have saw that you're both simultaneously proud and embarrassed of?
Proud and embarrassed of? I don't know.
Like it's got to be something on the CW or something, right? Did you write any like kind of cheesy little prom songs or anything like that?
No. So like everything that's landed so far has just been my artist project. I mean, there have been actually a couple things that I've written that I haven't released as an artist project that were on. Like one of them was on Selling Sunset.
Okay.
And then the other one was on, gosh, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it's like shows like that, like Selling Sunset. I was on Riverdale.
Your song was on Riverdale?
Sabrina. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was the song on Riverdale? We're talking with Luna Ora on Rock 102.1 KFMA, and part of the side hustle that a lot of upcoming artists do is they write and they sync their music and license it to different shows and movies and things like that, and that's how they make an income. And so
it's one of the only ways.
It is. I mean, out in LA, that
and
serving tables, I guess, right?
Yeah, bartending.
Yeah. You got in right at a good time, and you're blowing up at a good time too, because ChatGPT, man, whoo! Oh, they're coming for you. They're coming for you.
Oh my God. So. They could never.
So with that though, what's one of the songs that featured in a high profile kind of placement that I might recognize? You could name any CW show. I watch them all.
I mean, Honey was in Riverdale. It was in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It was in the trailer for season 4 for that. It was in the trailer for the promo trailer for The Serpent Queen, I believe, on Showtime. Nice. I've had Crash Dive in like a ton of songs as well.
Nice.
Or sorry, in a ton of shows.
Yeah. Did you get paid residuals for every time they air that? Or now with like streaming, I guess they just dump it on a network, right? And it's like a flat fee.
Hold on one second. Sorry.
He got guest appearances on the interview.
This dude's supposed to be at work. I don't know what he's doing here.
Oh, he got fired today. It's a good time.
I hope so. He hates his job. Anyways, sorry, what was your question?
Oh yeah, well, what was my question, weirdo?
Just whether or not you get residuals from each time they play, or they just kind of give you a flat fee.
It's typically just a flat fee. Usually if it's in like a scene in a show, it's like kind of lower numbers. If it's a promo spot, it's much higher. Now, if you're getting an advertisement, like a car commercial, for example, that can get as high as like over $100,000.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, easily.
Nice.
Our friends Congos made tons of car commercial money off that song "Come With Me Now."
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes. We're keeping the conversation moving with Miss Luna Ora here on our podcast broadcast stream. You can join us youtube.com/beefvegan or keep it right here because we got more coming up next. Clear. And that was on the FM side too. See, you never know.
Yeah.
You just never know.
It's always surprising.
I know.
Yeah, so you're talking about your writing process, and there's actually in Crash Dive, I do want to break down this lyric.
Oh, okay, lyrical breakdown? Let's do that.
Yeah, so normally what we do is we will tell you a lyric and be like, hey, guys, remember the song, especially when, an artist has a really, really deep discography. But obviously I've already
I would be so bad at this.
Well, I've already said the name of the song, Crash Dive. So you've got the lyric, I'm only in it for the crash dive, waiting for you. I won't learn, only like it when it hurts. Did that come from a personal experience?
Yeah, so that whole song is basically about me having frivolous, wild sexual relations as a single woman in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And relatably recognizing and being mature and being like, yeah, I'm only in this for the hurt and the dive. Like,
Yeah,
it's totally
no,
fine.
literally, that's what it's about.
Is that, do you find yourself inspired when you feel that way? Because I've said this before, like when I would creative write, I always wrote from a place of like sadness, right? And then I
Mhm.
found myself in this terrible habit of like basically self-sabotaging. So I would be in that place a lot. And then I recognized it as a very bad pattern in my life because I was, destructing just for the pain, just for the pain translate into the art, right?
Yeah.
Was that one of those things where you were like, yeah, I'm in it for the hurt? Because when you're hurt, then you go immediately to your notebook and start jotting things down.
Yeah, I think I was just at a point where I was really ridding myself of a lot of like conditional behaviors from growing
Mm.
up Mormon. So
Oh yeah, I fucking
I
forgot.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I think for me it was mostly kind of talking about like the shame I felt while doing something that was like completely normal and healthy for
And
any
awesome,
grown
right?
adult. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so it was more of like the crash dive was kind of how I felt internally, and the song was my way of like ridding myself of that shame.
Yeah, because the Three Cheers for American Beauty EP, like, first of all, I'm digging that whole album because I can
Thank
completely
you.
relate. Yeah, because in Honey, it's like I could F you up. Yeah, I got other plans. You knew you weren't ready for a girl like me. My honey's only sweet if you could take the sting. I saw that and I was like, preach, girl, preach.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's definitely a lot of girls are like, "Oh my god, you're speaking my life."
Nah. Through the rebounding, right, and going through the LA dating scene, all right, you have to probably go through a slew of douchebags so you found someone that's like more fitting your style. Do you feel
Yeah.
like you found like basically more what you're looking into, and then are there examples of dudes that you'll never turn back on, or never,
Yes.
yeah, return to?
Oh, never return to. Oh
Well,
yeah.
as far as the style, the type of guys, not individuals.
Well, LA guys and LA girls are both
Mhm.
very they're very much the same. Not I mean that's obviously generalizing an entire population of people, but a lot
Right.
of people come out here to be something, and so they'll leave their hometowns and they are just like I'm this person now, and they're trying to be stars and rich and famous, and so you run into a lot of people that are almost like caricatures of themselves.
Right.
So that's kind of what dating in LA is like. Also, people want things without actually being willing to give anything in return.
Mm.
So that is also LA dating. But I would suggest to anyone dating in LA to date someone from Portland or anywhere else that isn't LA.
So that's your style now. You're into Portland people. So if they're like, "Hey, I'm from Portland," you're like, "Hey,
I mean,
swipe right."
I am a firm believer. I'm engaged to a dude that's from Portland, and he
Congratulations.
thank you very much. And
Yes.
he has a ton of friends from Portland, and they're all just wonderful gentlemen. And I'm like, they just make them different in Portland, I guess.
I was wondering why that beanie was giving me Portugal the Man vibes, so you're out in LA, but you got a little Portland vibe to you. So
I do definitely. I feel like I've always, when I went and actually visited for the first time, I was like, oh my God, this is like where my soul is from.
right, yeah. You'll eventually land there for sure. Now with that, you're engaged. Did you set a date? Are you gonna get married here soon?
We've been engaged for 4 years.
Oh Jesus, it's one of those kind of things. So you're California married at this
We
point,
are
right?
California married, yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations. Was that your
Thanks.
California husband who came home?
That
Who
was
got
my
fired?
California husband. Yeah, he just got fired. No, he
Oh.
did. I actually have no idea why he's home. We'll have to figure that out. But yes, I just thought it'd be so much more fun to be engaged because I felt like he was more than my boyfriend, but I also like don't want to I don't know, being someone's wife just feels kind of like, ooh, I don't know.
A little scared. That's the Mormonism in you. You don't want to
exactly.
lock down.
You can say partner.
Oh my gosh.
You can update it, say partner.
Yeah, that's true. You could just say partner. That's right. Well, then people will just think I'm a lesbian with this beanie and everything, you know.
Well, yes, strong lesbian vibes with that beanie for sure. So, how did he propose? How did he propose to you? Did he do something smooth, one of those over the top gestures?
He proposed to me on the Oregon coast. He got a really beautiful house, like right on the water. And the night that he was going to propose to me, I got food poisoning.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Yeah, and I got really, really sick, and I was super sick for like 8 hours, and then I felt like a spring chicken the next morning, and so he just proposed to me in bed the next morning.
Oh, good. So he had to wait until you were done throwing up, and
He actually like made himself a little bed next to the toilet next to me, so like every time I got up to get sick, he would like rub my back, and it was really sweet.
Oh,
that's very nice.
She got
He's a keeper. Yeah.
I'm just immediately my eyes roll back in my head. I'm like, I'm never doing that. I'm never being engaged.
You're like, close the door. You're like stuffing towels in the little cracks because you're scared of getting sick.
Make a little dog bed next there. Like, no, I mean, I'll throw a bottle of water in there every now and then, light a candle. You know, I'm romantic like that, but that's very sweet. And that is awesome. All right, let's pull up this banner here. Let's go down the rabbit hole here I kept showing clips from Cameron Walker, that's featuring Cameron Walker from Smile. Your artistic vision on all your videos are definitely like eye-catching, a little twisted and disturbing in the best possible way. And I love it. And at the same time, very beautiful. Like, you know, in a way, it's very odd, but you're what's the best way to say this? It's not creepy. It's all creepy though. I'm just thinking out loud. Essentially, you're fulfilling many fetishes that you don't even know exist. You know, like as this dentist thing that you got going on, and it's torturous, and you're pulling. I swear to God, on the internet, that's a fetish. I swear to you, if you didn't know it beforehand, you inadvertently created that. But did you know? Were you going for that market?
The fetish vibes? I was not, but now knowing that it could come across as that, it makes me very happy. The blood honey, like all of it.
Isn't it Rule 46?
Yes.
Yes. Rule 46 of the internet. If somebody's into it, there's a website dedicated to it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have like, I love horror movies and I love like that kind of horror aesthetic, but then I love taking things like that and juxtaposing it with things that are very pretty and beautiful, because I think it says a lot about my personality. Is people perceive me to be this one thing, and then when they get to know me, they're like, oh God, you're kind of scary.
She could be intimidating for sure. I seen it. I made her mad.
You have seen it, yeah.
I'm into it. Let's go.
I seen it in Mexico. It's not necessarily my fault, but I seen her mad. Yes. So you're be vegan in it. You're taking something ugly, something beautiful. You put together two opposites.
Exactly. I actually think about you every single time I do anything.
Wow.
Don't tell him that.
And that's all right. I've been telling people that for years anyway, so I'm glad I got it on video. All right, so let's talk about these announcements here. So again, the Louder Than Life Festival, which is happening in, what is this, Kentucky?
Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville, Kentucky. And now, of course, I'm pissed off that all these great massive festivals are everywhere but Arizona.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And then you are on, which day are you? Oh, so you're on the Friday with Godsmack, Tool, and Limp Bizkit all on the same day.
I can't wait to see Limp Bizkit.
They made a comeback. They're cool again, which is amazing.
That's that guilty pleasure from the late 90s, early 2000s is Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more of a I know Limp Bizkit and Slipknot kind of had like a feud back in the day. I'm more of a Slipknot fan myself.
Right. Yeah. Well, and Rage Against the Machine. A lot of people hating on Limp Bizkit, but Limp Bizkit, of course, are pinnacle. They're on the top. And you know, it's crazy. The Aftershock. Are these the same promoters by chance? For both these festivals?
It's the same promoter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then that makes sense because I'm like looking at Friday. I'm like Godsmack, Tool, and Limp Bizkit again, and you know that's all these massive ones. But here on Aftershock, You are not at the bottom there. You're kind of in the middle. Where are you at? Which day? Saturday?
I think I'm on the last day with Guns N' Roses.
Oh yeah, there you
Queens
go.
of the
Guns N'
Stone
Roses.
Age.
Yeah, that's a massive lineup too. Look at that. It's beautiful. And this is all going to be like the beginning of your routing because you're going to be on tour. So, you have a busy fall lined up and it all kicks off in October. What are you doing to prepare yourself, not just for your live show, but what are you doing here for the next 5 months as you get ready for what could very well be a life-changing stretch of shows?
I'm gonna be releasing a ton of music. So
Nice.
I'm starting April 27th, and then I have my second single in June, and then it'll be one song a month all the way up until I believe August or September. So
That's the name of the game now, right? Just releasing singles, keeping digital, like multimedia, the whole nine.
yeah, just being consistent is really important. At this rate, I'm releasing like one EP a year, but yeah, I don't know if I'll ever release like a full album.
No, I don't think you need to at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it necessary really anymore?
I don't know if it is. It's kind of it feels like a waste of money. I'd rather just take all my best songs and just put them on a smaller EP.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, as you're continuing to create and build your fan base, then this is absolutely the path to go. But as an artist, and I know you're an artist to your core, putting a piece together like an album, beginning to end, vision, sonically, is something that's a beautiful art craft that I still feel like the greats should do and continue to do, because there's nothing greater than a conceptual piece worked together. But the singles, of course, in our digital age and reaching a new audience and all that stuff, for sure, you got to keep banging it out. What's next? What's next? What are you doing for me lately? Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's totally different for a developing artist versus someone like Beyonce. Beyonce can release an album and she could, poop on a plate and everyone would be like, it's amazing.
I've seen it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. So at that point, it makes sense. Like release an album, have it be conceptual, do an entire film behind it. I mean, if I ever get to that level, when I get to that level, I guess is how I should be speaking. Then yeah, I would love to do that. But as a developing artist, it's just kind of about releasing banger after banger after banger and kind of proving yourself.
Right. Yeah. And that's what you're doing. You're doing it so well. And Ben's such a good song too. And so you're going to be dropping this single. So can we expect the singles and music videos every time you drop? Or is it going to be one of those packaged things that you're kind of planning every single time you drop a single?
Yeah, so I'll be doing visualizers for all the songs, which isn't exactly a music video. It's like my way of getting around doing like a high budget music video.
Yeah.
But for this first single, which is going to be called Money Bag, I have like a full blown music video for.
Okay, nice. And are you funding that independently as well? You paying for that?
Yeah, everything I do is independently funded. So I've been lucky enough to be able to float my career without having to sign any like major deals or my soul away to the devil. So, and I'm going to keep doing that until, it makes sense for me to partner with someone like a label. But until then, I'm just doing it all on my own.
What do you think was the turning point? Because now that you're on the Aftershock Festival, you're on the Louder Than Life Festival, you're about to announce a support tour with a major act. What happened recently that kind of turned the corner for you to start getting all these opportunities?
I switched up my management.
There it is.
Yeah.
So, but that was over the last like several years. So, it started going that direction. From what, like 5 years ago? And
yeah, so I let go of my first manager and I self-managed for like a year and a half. And then I worked with someone that did more of like the clerical stuff, but I was still essentially managing myself. And I just kind of dated around for a little bit. And I met the guys at Shelter Music and they're amazing. They do like Fleetwood Mac and some really incredible acts. And I think that was the one thing that my career was lacking. The music was great. The visuals, the live show, everything was perfect. I was just really lacking that team that could do the old 1-2 punch and just make it happen,
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? We're talking with Luna Aura, and she is the definition of a multimedia artist. All right, meaning she has fantastic songs, but visually conceptions. Just through social media, through her music videos or visualizer videos, it's a complete package with Luna Oris. When you get a chance, go down the rabbit hole. You won't be disappointed because she's an artist to the T. So Bent is the name of the new single. There's going to be a new single being released after that. We're going to wrap things up with Luna Or on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. We got your beef tip right around the corner, so keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1. Clear. Full disclosure, I still love your ex-manager. He's
Oh, Travis?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. No, Travis he's awesome.
He just didn't go the right direction with some things.
Ex-manager, ex-boyfriend, whatever, but
okay, got it.
Yeah, but
that was an interesting relationship, to say the least.
You should never do that, in business, and we were all saying that. If it's client, you can't combine
I was also 21 years old, like very freshly 21, and he was like 33. So
he's I went to high school with Travis.
Oh, so you got all the details on it.
Yeah.
I hope it's all.
So I just chalk it up to being young and dumb,
Well, here, let's move it back to another song. Let's move it back to another song, because one that really caught my eye and kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit was Baby Doll. I would like to know, because as I was like first listening to it, because I am bisexual, I'm always looking for like bisexual anthems. That's what I first drew from it. But then kind of as I was listening to the song, I was like, oh, wait a second, maybe that's not what it is, because of the lyric about, let me pull it up. Yeah, hope you get everything you want. She just wants anything I got. But then come into the verse, does she know what you did to me? And that kind of thing, like that really intrigued me. I'd like to know kind of where that came from.
So I wrote that song about essentially screwing my ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend.
Hold on.
Was it Travis? Was it Travis's?
No. I didn't actually do it. It was just like a fantasy I was having.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay. But that's the ultimate revenge, though, right?
That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was my take on like the revenge. Be like,
revenge. I could do her better, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is true. That's very dude-like. You have like a metaphorical cock on you that could rival Tommy Lee's.
I know. Yeah. I always tell people that. I always have dudes, like a lot of men in the industry, especially, they just don't expect that I'm gonna bite back when they try to like fuck with me.
And I think, obviously, in the entertainment industry, for sure, you don't want to be soft, and especially in a male-dominated industry, they take advantage of female artists all the time. So to have that kind of set of balls, if you will, and backbones and fight is key to survival. So
yeah, but I'm
putting
like
into some lyrics too.
I'm like a cute little bunny rabbit, and they don't expect it. And then
with sharp razor teeth, like fucking Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
You scare me sometimes, and I've seen you grow up. Like, I'm fucking with Luna.
No, that's so good though, because and now that you've like explained that, I'm like, even more relatable, because when I've been like in the dating scene and stuff like that, like dudes would approach me and like, I'd love to. Could you have a 3-way with me and my girlfriend? I was like, no, but I'll steal your girlfriend. She'll become mine, and you can go fuck off. So so to hear that, like, I'm like, that is a polyamory like theme right there.
Yeah.
So
which weirdo is she's polyamorous, and she's actually what is called a polycube. She's in a polycube relationship, so she has a boyfriend, a husband, and a girlfriend. They all share the same bed.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We're the Royal Poly family on TikTok. Check it out, because some of the videos,
family.
Yes, she's all type.
Yeah. It's interesting. Is that something you would propose to your fiance, to get into polycube relationshiping?
No, I mean, we've talked about like monogamy and that kind of stuff, and how it's we're probably gonna end up doing things with other people at some point, because like life is too short, for
Follow me again, Royal Poly Family TikTok.
She explains all the
I
reasons
gotta
why.
shoot my shot.
I don't know if
can.
we'd ever do like the full-blown relationship thing, but
Mhm.
we definitely probably try some other stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah, I mean a lot of people are going to more like monogamish or like
yeah, exactly.
yeah, like poly interested or into swinging stuff like that. It is becoming more and more common.
all these sayings.
Oh
poly
yes.
into shit. Yeah.
Oh my
This
god,
isn't
it's
gonna be
getting
this isn't gonna be shown anywhere, is it?
YouTube. Everywhere, yeah. I'm
We're
gonna
live
clip
streaming,
it.
baby.
Tag, boop, boop, boop. Tag Aftershock. It's gonna be great. It's all
Oh,
about getting those
good.
sound bites, So
The royal family, what? Polly?
Royal Poly Family.
The Royal Polly family.
Yeah.
yes.
Done.
We're back on Rock 102.1
Nice.
KFMA. Luna Ora just followed Weirdo and her Polycube situationship that she has going on. You could do the same. The Royal Poly family, which she was just featured on My Extraordinary Life as well.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cool.
she's blown up, and then she had also got a bunch of different comments where a lot of like supporters, but then the trolls came out of the woodwork too. And that's something as you continue to blow up, just be prepared for tons of trolls. Some of them you might know from way back when, named Beef Vegan, but it's all out of love. I do appreciate being able to catch up with you, Luna, and I'm uber proud and just been a fan for a long time, and seeing other people kind of catch on to that is very awesome, and it was inevitable because the fight and drive that you have as an artist, as an entrepreneur, is second to none, and so I congratulate you, and I wish you
Thank you.
continued success.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been fun catching up. I've always loved you.
Yeah, it's one of those love-hate things. I know. She just recently followed me again on Instagram, so it's...
I know. I saw I wasn't even following you. I must have done that in my sleep or something. I don't know.
Maybe I just posted some offensive stuff on Instagram. It's kind of what I do. It's my thing.
No, I don't really take anything seriously on Instagram. I don't even think I follow my family. So bad.
That's what it is. It's like I'm a brother, and that's why she had to unfollow me. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget, you guys, go down the rabbit hole with Luna Ora. You can check her out on all the social media platforms. Follow her on Instagram, and there you'll see all the different links to the bios, upcoming shows, and then keep an ear out for the announcement of the fall tour that she's going to announce in support of a major act, as well as Aftershock and Larger Than Life or Louder Than Life Festival. Before we wrap things up, I'd like to give you a beef tip. If you ever wish you can go a few days without feeling pressured to respond to text or return calls, don't feel alone. 57% of Americans say yes. All right. So my beef tip to you is don't need to feel that pressure. Just make sure you adjust your phone so they can't tell that you read the text.
Correct.
So that way they don't know if you've seen it or not.
Yeah, you don't put on your read receipts. Never do that.
Exactly.
Oh,
and then you could just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I get so many texts. It must have got buried, or maybe there was a technical problem, whatever the case.
Right.
And you could always divert the blame. So turn off those read receipts. That's my beef tip to you. Luna Ora, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast broadcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course. And for the rest of you guys, we'll be back tomorrow morning with those tickets for Incubus. But till then, Robin Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe. And as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish upon a side of beef, soon will come an end to all your grief. But if
you remember this song?
been mean or kind of bad,
outro
I
song
will
forever.
knock out all your teeth.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh, back.